Hey everyone, the advancements in technologies in 2024 is creating some exciting potential for the world in terms of new products that are coming out into the market. SoundHound AI and Luminar Technologies are two interesting artificial intelligence companies that are delivering innovative products. Luminar is using LAZR to help implement the advancement of driverless car technology. In fact, Tesla was one of its biggest customers in the latest quarter. SoundHound AI is using artificial intelligence to use sound recognition, voice recognition to help companies and businesses deliver that kind of service to customers in industries such as inside vehicles and for restaurants, which are two areas of important innovation capability for SoundHound AI. So I'm going to compare those two companies and try and understand and answer which one is the better stock to buy today.
I want to thank the Motley Fool for sponsoring this video. Visit fool.com/Parkev for the 10 best stocks to buy now.
All right, let's start with Luminar, which saying in its latest quarterly release that their first car, they're going to be inside their first car, the flagship vehicle EX90 from Volvo, which marks the first of over 25 commercial programs expected to follow. As a result, Luminar is planning to ship 5 times more LiDARs in the second half of this year than in the prior 10 years combined. 5x as many shipments in the second half of 1 year than in the whole of its 10 years in history. So, an explosive exponential growth upcoming for Luminar right now in the near term, second half of this year as it launches in Volvo's EX90. And then you've got that announcement from Luminar that Tesla was its biggest customer, which is a little surprising, right? Because you all must know that Tesla has famously said that it believes its camera used driverless car technology is the way to go instead of using LiDARs to develop driverless car technology. Maybe Tesla is hedging its bets a little bit, using LiDAR to test some features. Maybe if it proves successful in some of its tests, it would implement LiDARs in its cars longer term. Interesting development there. But nevertheless, the technology is proving successful, is proving effective, even if it's not going completely self-driving. Just things like enhanced braking assistance, right? Maybe you don't see that car in front of you and you're a little distracted. The LiDAR system can take over and the car can take over the safety system and brake for you, right? Just in those type of features, it can develop mass adoption and grow at much larger scale than it is currently. Meanwhile, SoundHound AI said that in its first quarter, it set the tone for 2024 as another year of strong growth for SoundHound. Voice artificial intelligence is fast becoming a must-have tool for customer service, and that's reflected in the demand we're seeing for subscriptions. And it's true, voice AI is becoming widely adopted, and that's because of the service enhancement and cost savings feature. It improves the customer service. At the same time, it lowers cost because you now have to pay fewer people to handle those queries, whereas the artificial intelligence, the AI, can do a better job at recognizing someone's voice and determining what they're trying to ask for and providing the answer much better than a human can. And so this proves to be a area where SoundHound AI can deliver exponential growth. Already in the latest quarter, it increased revenue by 73%. Longer term, they've both been on a similar trajectory in revenue growth. You can see here over a trailing 12-month period, Luminar with 76 million in revenue, SoundHound AI with 50 million in trailing 12-month revenue. However, looking at accounts receivable, which is cash that their customers owe them, and it's a sign of how much cash inflow they have coming in the next quarter or two. Luminar, you could see the growth here from a big order $29 million in accounts receivable, $6.8 million for SoundHound AI. Now, you don't want a company to experience too much accounts receivable because while they're needing to collect that cash, they need to go out and borrow money if they're short on cash, which Luminar SoundHound AI, cash is a problem for these two because they're losing so much money on the bottom line and they're also negative in cash flow from operations. They've got to be smart about how they're managing their cash balances. And like I highlighted, cash flow from operations, Luminar has been going negative very quickly, negative 263.86 million in the most recent trailing 12-month period. Although in most cases, when I see something like this, it's a signal to run away from the company. In Luminar, it's a little bit different because of the recent announcement of that big sale to Volvo in the EX90, and then also the implementation, the sale to Tesla. You can see its prospects improving rapidly over the near term, right? They mentioned much more sales in the back half of this year compared to all 10 years of its history. So this has been a company that's been investing in research and development for a long time, and now it's going to reap the benefits of those investments. Remains to be seen just how much investment it's going to reap the reward from, but it has proven that it's successful and it's coming out into the market, and it's exciting times ahead for Luminar. SoundHound AI has also improved here. Cash flow from operations, you can see it going at least in the right direction. Not very quickly, but at least moving in the right direction. Negative 75 million for SoundHound AI. And so when I see companies with these types of negative cash balances, I want to take a closer look at their balance sheet to see how much time they have and how much cash they have versus how much long-term debt they have. So Luminar has total long-term debt of 616 million with cash of just 218 million. So they're in a much more, I would say, concerned situation with cash compared to SoundHound AI, which has 211 million in cash and 85 million in long-term debt. Also, SoundHound AI has stabilized its cash outflow and it's improving, whereas Luminar was still heading negative, although with the bulk of the sales coming in the back half of the year and with that large accounts receivable balance, you can see its cash position improving towards the back half of this year. And when you've got those sales contracts secured, like Luminar does with Volvo, you can use that contract to go out and raise capital because investors would be more comfortable giving you money because they know you're going to use that money to fulfill a contract, right? You've got the sale locked. You just need money to buy the materials, the supply, to pay labor, rent, and everything just to fulfill that low order. And once you fulfill that order, the customer is going to pay you. And so investors feel more confident in lending money into a company like that versus lending money to a company that's losing this type of money on the bottom line, but doesn't have that kind of sale and is still just trying to get itself to a point where it can deliver something to investors. So keep that in mind when you're comparing these two. Now, the final thing I wanted to compare them on is valuation. And SoundHound AI on a price to sales forward ratio is trading at more than 5 times the valuation of Luminar. Luminar is at a forward price to sales of 2.9, whereas SoundHound is at a price to sales of 16. I think that's too much of a premium valuation to pay for SoundHound AI, especially given the recent developments for Luminar and the massive sales influx that's oncoming. So if I was to pick between these two AI stocks, I would pick Luminar as the one to buy today. Thank you for watching this video. I truly appreciate it. I know there's a lot you could be doing with your time and a lot of other videos you could be watching. So I truly appreciate that you chose to watch this one. If you want to see more videos just like this, hit the subscribe or the like button. They'll both help me make more videos just like this one. Thank you again.